everyone, Duke here, and today we're going to go over how to unlock every fragment for your new Prismatic subclass. I'm going to try to make this guide as concise yet very easy to follow as possible, so let's get right into it. Our first fragment, the Facet of Bravery, is going to be in the Ascent mission. This is going to be a little bit into the mission after talking to Crow and Cade a few minutes later. You're going to want to look for this kind of broken down airplane, and just off to the right, you're going to be able to kind of drop down in here and find your first chest. Our second fragment is going to be the Facet of Devotion. This is going to be right after you fight the Pillar of Devotion in the Descent mission, and instead of going off to the right and kind of following the path that the mission wants you to do, go ahead and just keep going straight as the floor is going up behind you, and you will find your second chest behind this wall. Our third chest is in the Iconoclasm mission near the end, and you're going to want to look for this war beast. It's impossible to miss. Instead of going to the right, again, continuing the mission, you're going to want to go to this left room, go ahead and jump on this little doorway, and then there's a small hole that you can jump up into above. There's going to be like a little light that allows you to see this room pretty easily. Then just drop down in, and you will find our next chest. The rest of these fragments are going to be a little bit more complicated. Our next fragment is the Facet of Grace. You're going to want to go ahead and land in the Lost City load zone and basically just go straight. When you get to this big open area, you're going to want to head off to the right first, and there's going to be a couple of enemies over here that you're going to want to kill. There's also going to be a big kind of mini boss in this area that you're going to want to kill, and you're going to end up killing 3 of these mini bosses in this area. We're going to go ahead and speed up this section, kind of show you the different areas. You want to head back to the center every single time after killing the mini boss, and you'll get a message in the bottom left hand corner kind of showing you and letting you know that you're on the right track. So we're going to speed this section up, and then we'll show you what to do. So as mentioned, your first omen is going to be on the right when you first come into this big area. The second omen is going to then be on the left, again looking outwards in terms of the way that you first come into this room. You'll head to the left side, kill the second omen, then again head back to the kind of big center section, the big center platform that you first come into. And our third omen is going to be kind of straight back down this path, and again we're going to want to slay out over here until we defeat the final omen, and we'll get one final message to head back to the middle platform. Once you've killed the 3 omens, again, head back to the center, and you're going to have spawned a shielded tormentor here. There will be a few enemies around that you're going to need and want to kill. There will also be a few shielded enemies, other than the tormentor, that you're going to need the Transcendence kind of mini super for, whether you're on the new Prismatic subclass, or you can just stand in the pool to get the ability to break those shields as well. Once you've killed those enemies, the Tormentor will no longer be immune. You can go ahead and kill the Tormentor, and that's going to give you the key you need to open the chest. Again, the chest will be basically where we first went, on the right side, again looking out towards where we start. This is going to be our chest for the Facet of Grace. Our next fragment is the Facet of Mending. For this one, you're going to want to go ahead and land in the Lost City landing zone, and when you land, you're just going to want to run straight and basically follow the path. We're going to go ahead and speed this up so we can show you where you need to get to. Once you get to this outside area, you can again go ahead and keep going straight. There are some side ways you can go as well, so you don't want to go those ways. You just want to go straight and again continue to follow the path. Once you get to this load zone, the Lost City outskirts, you're going to be looking for 4 ghosts in this area. If you haven't grabbed the ghosts already, you're going to notice like a little ghost symbol on the top right, and if you pull out your ghost, it'll actually like look towards where the ghosts are. But I'm just going to show you where all the ghosts actually end up being. Our first one is going to be on this little like a little sign here. It's going to be right at the top, right there. Then we can continue forward. Your second ghost is going to be at the bottom of the staircase, right on this little dado box. Your third ghost, right when you come outside, instead of going forward, you're going to want to turn around, and it is going to be on this ledge above you. And our fourth and final ghost will be on this kind of little structure here, kind of hidden underneath a little bit of this little metal section. It should be right about here. And once you have all 4 of those ghosts, you're going to want to go ahead and go forward, and there will be a chest, and there's basically a puzzle that's going to be here. We'll go ahead and splice in that footage right now, and you'll be able to see exactly what to do. So once you get here next to the chest, there's going to be a plate to stand on. Again, you need to have gotten all 4 ghosts here first. That's why we showed that section first. And all you gotta do is stand on the plate and kill everything until basically the last final kind of mini boss enemy or boss enemy drops a key. You pick up the key and you can open the chest. Our next fragment will be the Facet of Command. Here you're going to want to land in the impasse loading zone and basically just follow the path on screen. Again, we'll speed it up so that you can just kind of see where to go. You can slow it down if you need to in terms of where to go, but it's a pretty straightforward path. You're going to want to just keep going along this path until you find the chest. And just to the left of this chest, there's going to be a small room you can go into to spawn a Scorch Cannon. Now, this Scorch Cannon is going to be used for basically destroying a bunch of the little ice blocks that are going to be around. I'm just going to, again, go ahead and speed up this section. I'm not really going to narrate exactly where each of these are. I'm just going to kind of ×2 speed this. You can kind of see where all of them are. I tried to optimize this as much as possible. I went ahead and found all these. We did the whole section, then came back and reset it so that there wasn't a lot of running back and forth. Tried to make sure you could have a very straightforward path of getting all 7 of the ice blocks. When you break the ice blocks, it will spawn different types of orbs. You are going to need to bring these orbs back to the main room. I did it with a couple people, so it was a little bit easier. Technically, if you're by yourself, you can just go ahead and bring the Scorch Cannon to each spot, then drop the Scorch Cannon there, grab the orb, bring the orb back to the room, and then rather than going and getting that Scorch Cannon back, you can respawn the Scorch Cannon in that same starting spot that I showed you at the beginning every single time. So that makes things a little bit easier if you're doing this solo. But again, just go ahead and watch the visuals on screen so you can see where each of these blocks are to get all of these 7 orbs. Now once you have all of the orbs, you're going to want to be dunking them in these 2 kind of charge stations that will be again in the main starting room with the Scorch Cannon, where you first got the Scorch Cannon. These charges are all going to either be Void, Arc, or Solar, and they all have different amounts of charge. You want to get both of the charge stations up to 10. That is your goal here. At least for us, I don't know if this is guaranteed every single time, but I'm assuming it will be. Arc counted as 2 charge, Solar counted as 3 charge, and Void counted as 4 charge. You can kind of use that to your advantage in terms of being able to make sure that you get 10 in each one. If for whatever reason you screw it up and don't get 10 in each one, they will just spit it out right here next to you. You also don't have to bring all the orbs here and then dunk them afterwards. You can just bring them and then dunk them and then go back. You don't have to have them just all sitting here, kind of how we did. But this is just the easy way for me to figure this out in terms of being able to get them all done and get all the charges that we needed all at once, kind of see them all laying out, make sure we had them all. Once you do get both charges to 10 though, you're going to go ahead and kill all the enemies that will have spawned right outside. There will be again a boss enemy after a few waves of ads, and that boss will drop the key that you need in order to open this chest. Our next fragment, the Facet of Defiance, you're going to want to go ahead and start in the impasse loading zone, turn around, and basically head straight for this building. This is going to get you to a new loading zone in the transgression. Once you are in the transgression, you're going to again want to go ahead and keep going straight, basically get to kind of a second section of the transgression. And once you're in this second section, you'll want to head off to the left, look for this little kind of purple glowing stone that's going to really be a really good waypoint for you, and head into this cave. This cave will have kind of the poison effect that we saw during the campaign and stuff. You can use these little darkness nodes in order to refresh your protection from it. And this whole section is pretty much just kind of follow the path. When you get towards the chest at the very back, there's going to be a little crystal. You can go ahead and activate this crystal that's going to spawn in enemies. Really the only main mechanic here is some of the enemies are going to be shielded. These shields can be taken down by looking for little acolyte eyes, little acolyte eyeballs that will be in different sections of this kind of, it's almost like a mini lost sector, not really, but it's like a very small one. But yeah, you're going to want to go ahead and kill all of the acolyte eyes. Once you've killed all the acolyte eyes for that section, all the enemies shields will break. You can go ahead and kill those enemies. You'll do this for a couple rounds, and at the very end, you're going to go ahead and again spawn in kind of a mini boss. Go ahead and kill him, pick up the key, and open the chest. Done this multiple times now, so nothing different here. Our next fragment, the Facet of Justice, is going to be you're going to want to be starting in the landing zone. Great name. And again, just follow along on screen, basically head forward, go off to the left. You're going kind of to the Dreaming City, quote-unquote, section of the Pale Heart here. And again, follow the path. You'll eventually run into a little bit of a room that has a chest in it again, and we're going to have some mechanics here. Once you're in this room, you're going to notice a solar crystal that basically you can pick up and hold. And when you pick up this crystal, there's going to be symbols around the room. There's also going to be a bunch of pots around the room that you can dunk in. You're going to want to remember these three symbols that I'm looking at here at the start, because those are the three pots that you're going to need to dunk in. You're going to want to, of course, do these one at a time. I'm assuming you have to do them top to bottom. I'm not 100% sure if you just have to dunk all three. We did them top to bottom. But again, once you have the crystal, you can kind of go ahead back to the middle, look to see which pot you're going to need to dunk in, and then you'll go back and dunk in said pot. If you do have multiple people, I think actually the easier way to do this is just having them kind of look for you for which symbol you're going to need to dunk in, stand next to it, and you actually don't have to drop down with this solar crystal. It takes kind of a long time just jumping and moving really, really slowly if you jump down and have to take the staircase up and around. Otherwise, you can just grab it from up here and just go to the pot. It's probably faster and easier. But again, we did it this way. It works out. Once you've done all three crystals, obviously, as with a lot of these, you're going to get a bunch of ad waves spawn in. You're going to get a mini boss near the end. And again, you'll go ahead and pick up the key and open the chest. Now the final 5 chests are a little bit special. These next 2 are you're going to need memory, vestige, darkness fragments, and you're going to need 5 of them. You're going to notice these kind of darkness infused chests around the Pale Heart when you're doing different the public event activities and such like that. And you're going to want to go ahead and do these darkness chests. Each time you try to open it though, it's going to have a kind of like mini puzzle. You might have to like throw grenades at little orange explodies or run through like little orange pillars of light or follow the ghost around. Whatever it tells you to do, they're all pretty simple. You're going to want to go ahead and do that until you complete that section. The chest will then be openable and you're going to get one of the fragments that you need. You're going to need 5 of these fragments for each of the next 2 chests, so you will need 10 total. I would highly recommend doing these one at a time though, like get your 5 and then go open the first chest and then get another 5 and then open the next chest. Once you get 5 of those fragments, it's going to turn into a legendary version and actually put the chest on your map. It's just going to give you basically a section to go to. I don't know whether or not these are going to be all in order for everyone. These next 2 could be in a random order, but this one is going to be in the impasse. You want to go to the load zone, turn around. It's pretty much just a straight shot near where this little like kind of structure, this building is back here, and towards the back right of the building, you're going to want to go ahead and look over the edge and drop down to this lower section, and then actually even a second lower section, and there is the chest hiding in this corner. Again, you will need to make sure that you have the key specifically for this chest in order to open this chest. For other darkness chests, again, you're going to want to start in the impasse landing zone, and this one is going to be about 18,000 miles away. Again, we'll show the entire path on screen, but you're definitely going to want to go ahead and follow along on screen. I'm going to definitely speed it up as well. Now, the reason that I wanted to make sure to tell you guys to do the 5, get your purple key, and then get 1 chest at a time is actually in the next section for the light fragments, which has a different way of getting them, which we'll explain in a second. I actually somehow bugged myself out by getting more than 5, and the way how that worked is I basically, I had the purple key, I got another 5 of the fragments, and once I got to that, it didn't give me a second purple key, it just kept adding up. It added up past 5, and I wasn't able to actually turn the blue keys, the 5 of them, into a purple key, and then I stopped getting the blue keys, so I might be in trouble on that, but we'll still show you where the chest is supposed to be for one of those light ones, and we'll figure out if I can figure out a way around that. There is actually a known bug on the whole, if you already have a purple key, another one won't turn into the purple key. I just didn't see that ahead of time, but that's okay, we'll figure it out. But again, follow along on path here. The next chest with the Facet of Honor will be shown here in a moment. Now, the last 3 chests all need light memory vestiges, which you can only get from the Sys missions. These were a pain. And so to get the Sys missions, you need to do the Lost Ghost quest from Micah 10. We'll go ahead and show on screen where that kind of is on the mini-map, and then you're going to want to kind of keep going through that, and eventually you get to these Sys missions. You do have to do a bunch of the public event stuff, get chests from that, etc. Like, it's a lot. And so as you're doing that, you'll go into these assist missions, you'll need to kill enemies, and eventually you'll get some of the light fragments. If you get, again, you need 5 of them to turn it into the purple version. Now, as I talked about a second ago, make sure once you get the purple version, you go ahead and go do the chest right away. Because I went and I just kept killing stuff. I got more blues, and then I got more than 5 blues. It didn't turn into purple. It was a whole mess. So once you get the purple one, stop what you're doing, go get the chests, which we're going to show here in a second. The other issue I had is some of the Sist missions just weren't working. I had to get to the 3rd Sist mission in the transgression to even start getting any of the light fragments. I was trying forever, trying to do it in the first one. The second one, it never gave me any light fragments no matter what I did. I had to get to the 3rd one. So I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if what was going on with that, but it's, you know, if you're having issues with this, just keep doing the Lost Ghosts quests until you get to the 3rd one that is in this kind of like lava maze and lava jumping area where the, you know, the ground is lava thing. I think it's called like Aerial Ace or something like that. And again, this one worked for me. The first 2 didn't. If the first 2 work for you, awesome. If not, just keep going through the quest until you get to this one. This one seemed to work. Now, once you have the legendary light fragments, we can go ahead and open some of these chests. Our first one is going to be in the blooming landing zone for the Facet of Generosity. Again, make sure that, I'm assuming these are going to be in random order potentially, so make sure that you actually have the key for this one. The chest will not be there if you don't have the key for this one. But once you land here, just basically go ahead and go straight, kind of head towards the big tree in the center, and again, just kind of jump up this tree, and you'll see it kind of hidden within some of the roots underneath. Pretty easy, nothing too difficult to get to here. Our next light fragment key for the Facet of Dominance, again, you're going to want to go ahead and start in the blooming landing zone, and this time you're going to want to head off to the left when you land, and basically, again, follow the path. You can also mark these, again, these are on your map, you can mark them when you have the correct key, so they can kind of help guide you and lead you towards the correct area, but once you're actually in the right section, that's when the waypoint's going to go away, and it's going to, you know, you have to actually know where it is. Now, when you get to this section right here, and instead of going straight, you can go through the portal on your left, and you're going to just teleport straight to where you need to. You can technically keep going straight, but it's way longer. I would not recommend it. From here, just hang left a little bit, climb up these rocks, and you're going to see the chest hidden kind of near the back of the rocks, and you'll get your next fragment. And our final fragment is the Facet of Awakening. Again, you're going to want to go ahead and start in the blooming landing zone. When you land in the blooming landing zone, you're going to want to take a right, and again, just kind of follow along on screen. Now, this is the one that, again, is currently bugged for me. As I mentioned, when you get the 5 blue fragments on either the dark or the light, I'd recommend immediately stop what you're doing, go ahead and get the chest, because if you do what I did and get more than 5 because you already had a purple one, and then I couldn't get a purple one, I couldn't get any more, like, I don't know. I might just not be able to get this one for now until they fix this. I don't know if there's a way around it. I'll definitely put a note in the description in case you guys have this issue too. But once you do get to this section over here, you can go ahead and loop around the tree, and you'll be able to climb up to the top of this tree. It's a little easier to do from down here. You can probably do it from the other side as well. But on the top of this tree should be your chest. And that's all for today. I hope this video was helpful. A like and comment is extremely appreciated on this video. This one was a lot of effort to both figure out, get together, edit together, and try to make it in a way that is as easy for you guys to follow as possible. So I'd really appreciate it. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.